No flags, just chalk and a loaded bar. Every nation said the best, they travel far. Finish ice in American steel, Brazilian fire. Every kilo on this platform raises the bar higher. Classic rules, no gear, just skin and will. The world is watching now, the arena still. You spent 4 years in silence, nobody clapped. Now the whole world holds its breath for where your hands are mapped. This is where the steel decides. When nations clash and glory hides. Every rep, every scar, every early morning drive. This is where the strongest ones arrive. This is where the steel decides. 2 attempts down, 1 left on the clock. The platform doesn't care about your prep or your talk. Red light means nothing if you come back cleaner. Every kilo closer to a record, every margin leaner. East meets west under this same cold bar. You don't need a language when you know what you are. The iron is honest, it never inflates. It only bends for the ones who showed up to be great. Steel doesn't lie. Ooh, nations don't hide. This is the IPF classic. This is where legends are tried. Every 5 a.m., every weight you try brought you here to where the strongest ones arise. Still decide, still decide. Still decide. Still decides.
Good afternoon and welcome to the 2026 IPF World Open Classic Powerlifting Championships here in Druskininkai, Lithuania. I am Amelia Potter, joined by none other than six-pack Ryan Lapidat here in the booth today. And what a tremendous start we had to the championships this morning, Ryan, with the 59 kilo class. An incredible beginning to the competition, and I imagine this would be no less exciting. You can see here the nominated lifts for each of the lifters and a huge fight to come. Tiffany Chapon, we have seen Turbo Tiff year after year dominate the 47s in most cases, but today some competition coming in from Team Canada with Amélie Pigeot-Plante and Leanne Lay from USA, and there's been a lot of talk about this, Ryan. Why don't you take that away from me, because I know that you love this storyline.
Well, Leanne Lee at the American Nationals registering 440 as a contender, threatening Turbo Tiff, not to mention Amélie Pigeot-Plante. This is easily the greatest cast of 47s we've seen in an IPF World Championship. Turbo Tiff has her work cut out for us. The threat levels are extremely high, just like the 59 kilo class. 1 single missed lift, and you could be rewriting the entire script. But unlike the 59s, this is a 3-way battle. What medal, which lady's walking away with, yet to be decided, but right to the very last deadlift, this is going to be a good one.
And kicking us off from Ireland, we have Pa opening with 90 kilos on the bar.
2 flights, so just like the 59s earlier, with no intermission. We'll go through flight B and then flight A.
And that is 2-1, a good lift for Pa. 10 kilos below her personal best. She does get a depth call on that far side, referee. And this is the side in the replay that we can see.
Looked okay from here.
Jury seem happy with that.
The bar is loaded.
Karolina Ichczak from Poland opening at 100 kilos. Opening on her current personal best. Only 19 years old, so fresh out the sub-juniors.
If it comes down to it, Amélie weighs less than Turbo Tiff, and Leanne Lee weighs less than both of them. Turbo Tiff, although the heavy favorite, coming in a little bit heavier, and it does come down to body weight. It might come down to body weight here.
It absolutely might. I feel like from what we've seen of Tiff, when she does sit slightly heavier is when we see her at her strongest. So I'm hoping that's the case rather than a difficult cut into this. But she is tried and tested. And that is another good lift of 100 kilos for Karolina. Joanne Clark from Ireland, 100 kilos on the bar. Starting to see some more representation from different countries as the weight classes come through. Very comfortable opener.
If you're wondering, for a little context, just how good this flight in Flight A is of 47s, seemed like just yesterday, the world record was below 435. Now we have 3 nominated lifters, 435 and up.
The standards are rising so fast, it's hard to keep up with. Marie Beglarishvili from Georgia, 110 kilos in the bar, already opening 2.5 kilos above her personal best here. Weight's not an issue, but unfortunately I was a little bit worried about the depth, and that's why 3 red lights on an account of depth. So let's have a look at that in the replay. So we're looking for the hip crease to go below the top of the knee joint, parallel, which I think that is just not low enough for the referees. Venezia Wedlock CE from Singapore, 117.5 kilos. Just asking for her rack to be put in there. Lifters have the opportunity to choose the arms of the rack in or out.
Looked like a smooth, easy opener after that.
And a good lift, 3 white lights. And as you said, there are some numbers at the tail end of the A group and even the top end of the B group that a few years ago would have been podium contenders. Just goes to show the rate of progression is so high in some weight classes, particularly the 47s. Paula Santos Mediavilla from Spain, 117.5 kilos. Still a junior at 21 years old.
Quick, snappy opener.
2 to 1, a good lift. Gets a depth pull from the center referee, and from that angle I can see why it was given. But if we have a look from the side referee's angle, who gave that white light, jury seem happy with it.
The bar is loaded.
Al Hanouf Al Tamimi from Kuwait, 127.5 kilos, opening just 2.5 kilos below her personal best. Training must have gone well for her. Unfortunately, 2 to 1, a no lift. Gets called on depth. Let's have a look at that again in the replay. Coach goes to the jury. What do you make of that, Ryan?
It was definitely on the line. Strength wasn't an issue. She retakes that weight. I think she'll be able to dip just a stitch lower.
And we're back to the second round. Bar 2 lifters getting their openers in. 97.5 kilos for Pat from Ireland.
In a 7-lifter flight, 2 of them not making it on their opening squat. A stitch alarming. It's not a high success rate for openers.
Great looking second attempt there from Pa. And unfortunately, another depth call. I was going to say, Ryan, both depth issues, now all 3 depth issues. So a fixable issue, but with the pressure on at the World Championships, hopefully something that is fixable.
Yeah, this is not a very high success rate. We got a lot of red early.
Karolina Iczak from Poland, 105 kilos, a 5 kilo jump from her opening attempt for a new personal best. Two to one, a good lift. Again, the depth on that left side, but reviewing it on the replay, looks like she's more than okay with that. Referees eagle-eyed for depth today. Joanne Clark from Ireland jumping 7.5 kilos to 107.5. Phenomenal hairstyle Joanne has on today. Maybe we'll get her to do yours later, Ryan. Oh, lovely second squat from Clark. And she's all smiles.
The bar is loaded.
Now this is pivotal. You miss your opener, IPF World Championships. You want to square that away, be able to move forward.
As we said, this is already 2.5 kilos above her personal best. 110 again for Marie Beglashvili from Georgia. Strength was certainly there, just needs to sink it. It was 3 reds the first time.
Much better.
So much better and just as easy. Perhaps a nerve issue more than anything else.
And 100% agreed, it was just as easy. Sometimes when you go a little bit lower, it gets a lot heavier than you would have expected. That one still moved like an opener should. That was opening weight. We'll have to see if she decides to take her planned third or be a little more conservative.
Paula Santos Mediavilla from Spain, 122.5 kilos. 5 kilo jump from her opening attempt. Very quick again. And 2 to 1, a good lift. I was a little bit worried about where she ended up on depth there, but good enough to convince 2 of the referees. Strength certainly there today. And actually that was from her bad hip where she got the depth call and it looked all right there. Venezia Wedlock CE from Singapore, 125 kilos, just 2.5 kilos below her personal best. 7.5 kilo jump. That is a good lift, 3 white lights.
The bar is loaded.
Now Al-Hanouf Al-Tamimi from Kuwait, retaking 127.5 after not getting it due to depth in her opening attempt. We saw the Georgian lifter correct that on her second, and let's hope that to be the case here for the Kuwaiti lifter.
Al-Tamimi has hit 130 before. That's more, but it's 127.5, still relatively close to her previous personal best. She can't look past this. Depth look okay that time.
Again, strength not an issue. 2-1, a good lift. Have a look at that again in the replay. The side referee is happy with it, but the jury seem to be discussing it.
Yeah, I'd let that pass. That looks good.
Let's hope the jury agree with you. And it seems like they do, so it remain a good lift as we move on to our third round of squats. Pa looking to retake 97.5, just missing it on depth in her second attempt. Two to one, a good lift.
The bar is loaded.
Karolina Ichczak from Poland, 107.5 for a further personal best of 2.5 kilos.
Slow, but steadily moves to lockout.
And unfortunately, 2-1, one call of depth and a blue from the far side referee.
The bar is loaded.
I'm not, yeah, and the jury has overruled that to a good lift. I wasn't too sure I could see what the blue was for. Joanne Clark from Ireland, 115 kilos, 7.5 kilo jump. Just shy of her personal best of 120. Great final attempt from Clark. Unfortunately, just not deep enough. Spirits remain high. She moves on to the rest of her day. Marie Beglarashvili from Georgia now, 117.5 would be a 7.5 kilo personal best after missing her opener on depth. Second, retook it very comfortable in 3 white lights. Still very easy for her.
Yeah, probably her planned third, around 120, but selling for 117.5. Pros of this, of course, has a lot more energy coming to bench press and deadlift.
The bar is loaded. No more changes.
You know, Paula Santos Mediavilla from Spain, 127.5 for a matched personal best. Has got 2-1 so far with 1 depth call on her opener and her second. Let's hope she can keep at the very least 2 white lights and not cut depth here with a matched personal best.
Depth looks good.
And the best so far, 3 white lights.
130 on the bar. Singapore. Followed by Anthony and Jones. The bar is loaded.
Nazia Wedlock Seyi from Singapore, 130 kilos, 5 kilo jump, looking for a 2.5 kilo personal best. right there from Venezia. Wow. Stuck with that so well, and 2-1, a good lift. Let's have a look at that battle again here in the replay. See if the bar did in fact dip. It looks like it paused, but I don't know if I saw a dip there, Ryan.
Look clean to me.
We now have Ahanouf Al-Tamimi from Kuwait. Missed her opener on depth, came back and got it there on her second, and now jumping 5 kilos for a new personal best of 132.5.
Judging on, they thought 127.5 would be opening weight. I'm expecting 132 to move relatively smooth.
And it does, a beautiful attempt there from Al-Tamimi.
Unless 127.5 was totally out to lunch, you gotta think 5 kilos up over the course of 3 attempts.
And a great ability for an athlete to do is, or to have, is to keep your head screwed on and move forward with confidence after a miss. And we move into the A flight here with the 47s, and kicking us off, Ainsley Jones from Australia, 125 on the bar. And it is a good lift, 3 by heights. And we move quickly on to one of the big 3 here in Lian Lei from the United States. Personal best there, huge, of 150.5, opening here with 132.5, Ryan.
Leanne is a major threat. 2 ladies in the 47s have total 440 and up. Turbo Tiff and Leanne Lee.
And it is extremely smooth for
That
Lee.
belt, I don't know if she's borrowing somebody else's, but that's, yeah, called on depth.
Yeah,
I'm
let's
gonna,
have a look at that in the replay from both sides there, Ryan.
I'm gonna assume Team USA is gonna approach the jury because this is important.
But
Didn't
it looks
really
like the
get it.
jury aren't budging.
Yeah, that is gonna set her back. Leanne Lee's got a monster squat, but to have to retake your opening weight,
We now have Vicky Kujumniapon from Australia, affectionately known as Vicky K, opening with 135 on the bar. Very well controlled squat from Vicky, and a good lift.
Team USA opting to move up to 145 for Leanne Lee's second attempt, regardless of missing 132.5. It's gutsy.
Yeah, and in a battle this close, it's one of those risks you're going to have to take. But after missing your first attempt of the day, like you said, it is certainly gutsy. Annalisa Motta from Italy, 140 on the bar.
Now, obviously, talking about the 47s, you have the big 3, but Annalise not far behind, representing Italy, a very star-studded national team on the women's side.
Very smooth opener from Motta.
Yeah.
And a good lift. Now, do you think that 145 was Leanne's planned second, or somewhere
be.
between the second and the
No,
first?
I mean, her PR squat is 150, 145 just 5 kilos below
Yeah.
that. You got to think that was the plan second, and they're going deep on that third. She's just got to take her squats deep. I don't know the whole story. That I mean, her belt looked huge on her.
Yeah, they're going all in on red, or hopefully all in on white, I suppose.
bar is loaded.
Well done. Day one.
Frank Meriduno, 140 on the bar for the Puerto Rican lifter. Just 5 kilos below her personal best.
She used to campaign in the 52 kilo class, moving down to the 47s. If she could retain that strength.
Extremely comfortable. Again, a really well-controlled squat. Keeps control over the bar the entire time, and when it gets a little bit tougher, that's going to serve her very well.
The bar is loaded.
Aniska Mikova from Czechia, 142.5 on the bar, certainly in contention for a squat medal today. Should all go well for her.
And the 47 kilo class, squat openers, we had 4 misses. That is a very high failure rate. Everybody a little bit on edge. Well, there we go. That's a smooth one. That's a little more along the lines we're used to seeing for an opener.
Yeah, I was going to say the exact same. Much more comfortable opening attempt from Mikova, and she's on the board. And pretty parallel actually from the 59s. A lot of opening misses there in the 59s this morning. So hopefully get that out of the way now. And for the rest of the day, the rest of the competition, smoother sailing. Now, the second of the big three we are to see take that opening attempt. You have Amélie Piché-Plante from Canada, 145 for her opening attempt. Has a personal best of 155 and has actually dropped her opener from where it was initially.
Oh, that was easy. She has put up some monster numbers here in prep for this competition. Last year at the World Championships, as a 57, 10 kilos up in body weight, came in 12th, and now 10 kilos lower in body weight, actually hitting heavier numbers. Might find herself on the podium or possibly put a pin in it, a win if she has it her way.
But she's going to have to go head-to-head with multiple-time world champion Tiff Chapon, who's opening 157.5, currently holding the world record herself at 169, and she has had quite the year so far.
Yeah, she is easily the most decorated 47 kilo lifter we've ever seen. Multiple-time world champion. Earlier this year won the Sheffield event. The woman to beat here in the 47 kilo class.
Wow, and we know that Tiff has a grind on her squat, so if she's making her opener look like that, she is really coming in defending hard today.
157.5, moving as easy as that.
You've got to think that 170 could be on the cards there for her third attempt, 169.5, wherever they want to put it. The chip certainly would help.
There is conversation of, is a 10 times body weight possible in the 47s? Turbo Tiff would tell you it is.
And as we move through to the second round of squats, all bar Leanne Lee with an opener on the board. Ainsley Jones from Australia kicking herself with a 132.5. A little sticky out the hole, but once she regained that momentum, looked much smoother.
The bar is loaded.
Followed by her teammate Vicky Kay here, 140 on the bar, a 5 kilo jump. Just 2.5 below her personal best. down, but she keeps pushing through it. And that is a good lift. 3 white lights. Do you reckon she goes to match her personal best, jumping 2.5 on that third, or do you think she pushes past that, Ryan?
You can't underestimate the motivation when you load the weight a little heavier towards PR territory. And lifters sometimes do find that other gear. I might be tempted to go 5. Now, interesting what we have here.
Yes, good segue there to Leanne Lee from the United States. We saw she missed her opener on depth, 132.5, chosen to go up to, as you said before, probably their planned second and 145, just 5.5 off her best ever squat. She's a big name in the competition. She needs to get a lift in on the board though. Now, is that better, do you think?
I think so, but
there she is.
3 white lights. And look at, if you miss your opener, you go up to your planned second and you hit your second. Really didn't set you back, and he did it.
She's exactly where she'd thought she'd be in the second. The route was just a little different. But she's on the board and back in the fight with no lost kilos by the looks of things. Annalisa Motta from Italy, 145, 5 kilo jump here.
And the battle continues. The big 3 remains the big 3. They say in battles this close, you can't afford to miss unless, of course, you go up regardless and hit. It's like the miss never happened. It's when you have to recalibrate on your second or third due to a previous miss.
And listen, Annalisa Motta not so far behind Leanne Lee. No mistakes want to be made because Team Italy could certainly capitalize if that's the case. That is a good lift, 3 white lights.
The bar is loaded.
Frank Mary Juno from Puerto Rico, 1 of 45 for a match personal best, a 5 kilo jump here from her second. Stops dead in the middle.
Oh my gosh, nope, waves it off.
Yeah, I thought she was going to be able to get that going again, but only momentarily.
The bar is loaded.
Agnieszka Mikova from Czechia, 150, a match personal best. 7.5 kilo jump. Puts her into squat silver for the time being, with Amelie to follow. Wow, plenty left in the tank there for Makova, and I think today she certainly came in looking for a squat medal.
The bar is loaded. Of Canada.
Now Amelie Pichot-Plante from Canada, 152.5, a 7.5 kilo jump.
Coming into this, Emily was sure to make it clear in statements online, she's not here to participate. Silver, bronze is not the goal, it is gold. She wants to go head to head with Turbo Tiff. And when 152.5 moves like that, Amelia, she's a threat.
She certainly is. Team Canada, I think, will have to be sensible with that third attempt now. Like we keep saying, you need to get as many kilos as possible and run that line of risk to reward so fine. You know, it was a good second attempt, not the easiest, but as long as she gets it. The battle is on. Tiff Chapon from France, 167.5, a 10 kilo jump and just a kilo and a half below her world record. The opener was so comfortable. If she moves this well, she is in an extremely strong spot to take her world record further and pick up a chip today in the competition. Again, another smooth squat from Turbo Tiff.
That is very clean. Second attempt lifting for Turbo Tiff. Now, there have been days previously where she might miss thirds when she overreaches, but the way that second attempt moves.
Yeah, and from the performance we saw from her earlier this year at Sheffield, it seemed like an entirely new Tiff, and let's see if she brought that version of herself here today as we head into the third and final round of squats. You can see Tiff leading the squats there with that 167.5. Followed by Emily with 152.5 and Anushka with 150 in the squat session. Ainsley Jones from Australia, 135. She does really well after hitting the hole quite hard to get the bar moving again, almost coming to a complete stop at the bottom. A great final attempt.
Looking at the projected totals now. Turbo Tiff, 435.5, but Emily of Canada, 420. Leanne Lee of USA, 417.5. Between Team Canada and USA, very close. And Turbo Tiff, no surprise, leading the charge, but there's a lot of lifting left to go.
Vicky Kay from Australia, 142.5 for a match personal best, going for that 2.5 kilo jump from her second, which I think is the smart choice here from Team Australia. Collect the kilos that you can when the second starts to look a little tough. And with that, we know that she got everything she could have out of that second attempt.
It's a very positive way of looking at it.
I'm a positive kind of girl, you know? What can I say? One of us has to be.
That's right.
Frank Mariduno from Puerto Rico, 145 after missing this on her second, looking to retake it here on her third.
Look better to me. Judges agree. Small adjustments go a long way.
The bar is loaded.
Annalisa Motta, 147.5, a 2.5 kilo jump. Looking to stay as close to the podium as she can, should any of the top three slip up enough that she can slip in. Great final attempt from Motta.
Yeah, I was going to say good attempt selection by Team Italy. Got the most out of their lifter. 3 for 3 in the squat event.
The bar is loaded.
Now Lian Li back on track after missing that opening attempt on depth. Jumping 5 kilos here to 150, just half a kilo below her personal best. Got called for depth in that opening attempt. Got 3 white lights in her last, and let's hope that's the depth she finds here on her third.
That looks good.
But it's the strength, unfortunately. Just can't push through that sticking point, Ryan.
It looked like for a second she might be able to battle through it. Taking a look at the replay, depth wasn't an issue. Hits depth, and right as at the transition point where she's about to get to the lockout, falters, unable to complete that lift. Now, the other 2 of the big 3 have yet to lift, and
That is the case. It also on prognosis puts Lian Li just 10 kilos ahead of Annalisa Motta. So not just ahead she has to look, but behind also. Anishka Mikova from Czechia, 152.5.
there are threats everywhere in the 47 kilo class. But again, a lot of lifting left to go. People are going to miss.
Wow, again, did not look like a third whatsoever, and has snapped herself up a squat medal. That is squat bronze for Anishka Mikova.
And the bar is loaded.
Emily Pichaplant opting for that 2.5 kilo jump, which I think is sensible from Team Canada, especially as they are trying to push Team France as much as they can. This is a match personal best for Amelie should she make this.
Looking how Lian Li obviously missing her third. If Emily can go 3 for 3, and she does, a little bit of pop at the top. 2.5 more kilos.
Yeah, and I think a good choice from Team Canada there. 3 white lights and pushes just that little bit closer.
If Team Canada can keep a bit of a spread with Team USA, and of course Annalisa does her part by threatening from behind, perhaps Lian Li eventually starts looking to defend bronze, and that really opens the door to challenge Turbo Tiff. However, depends how this third attempt can move, because we have a chip in play.
Yeah, and with a squat like this, she is a threat. She is defending, and you can see she is doing it so well so far. Tiffany Chapon from France, 170.5 to extend her own world squat record by 1.5 kilos, giving her that chip. She is looking so strong today. Let's see what another 3 kilos will do. And does it with ease, faster than her second. A new world record for Tiffany Chapon, 170.5, and what a start to the day for her.
Absolutely stunning third squat by Turbo Tiff. The greatest 47 that ever lived. Made easy work of that world record. And with her opening bench and opening deadlift, will already be at 435.5.
Absolutely incredible. We have an exciting final 6 attempts left to come, ladies and gentlemen. But for now, we head into a 10-minute break before bench press. We'll catch you then. And welcome back to the 2026 IPF World Powerlifting Championships here in Druskininkai, Lithuania. What an exciting start to the 47s. We had missed opening attempts. We had world records. We saw 170.5 fall from Tiffany Chapon and a slight separation beginning in the top 3. But is it big enough right now that it can't be closed, Ryan?
Well, so as it stands of right now, Tiffany Chapon with a projected 435.5. To answer your question, we expect Leanne Lee and Emily Pichet-Plant coming into this to probably end up higher than 435.5. So if Tiff hits her openers and start missing, to answer your question, no, she's not got this win in her back pocket just yet. She's got to hit more than her openers. I anticipate she'll do just that, but is there a bit of a spread? Yes. Between Emily and Leanne Lee, still too close to call.
And we head into our opening attempts of bench press. Karolina Itzchak from Poland, 47.5 kilos. Dropped that opening attempt slightly. Important to secure that opening attempt, and then you can make some slightly bigger jumps if you want to, or just take what you have on the day.
Two flights here in the 47s. No intermission between the flights.
The bar is loaded.
And interesting, so Turbo Tiff, world record squat, opening with 100 kilos, the world record bench press, 107.5. It's definitely a conversation on the table.
Venezia Wedlock Zayi from Singapore, 52.5 kilos. Opening at her current personal best. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Tiff pick up a couple of different chips today. And that is a good lift, 3 white lights.
Be interesting to see how these ladies adjusted from the squat event to the bench press. Saw 4 or 5 missed openers in the squat event. And bench press, far more calls. You have 3 commands, more possible infractions.
Is an extremely technical lift, and you see that in a lot of the lifters' setups in the style of bench they choose. Joanne Clark from Ireland here, taking 57.5. Very comfortable looking opener, exactly what we want to see. 3 white lights. We're used to seeing bench be a little bit of a slower pace, a little less dramatic, but earlier in the 59s was not the case by any means. So, you know, keep a close eye on the 47s to see how they do.
Yeah, certainly in the 59 kilo class. You missed the bench press session, you missed a major piece of that story.
Pat from Ireland, opening on 65 kilos. 75 kilo personal best. And that is a good lift, 3 white lights. Really opposite to what we saw earlier. The openers of every discipline, we'd rather be a little quieter, you know, a little less to say. We don't want to see drama here, ideally. Get a lift in on the board and then give us some excitement on that 3rd round. Marie Beglarashvili from Georgia, 72.5. Dropped her opening attempt slightly. Had a bit of trouble on her opener on squat with depth, managed to come back and get that on her second.
And sorry, you're saying she dropped her bench press opener?
Yeah, it looks like she's dropped her bench press opener ever so
Interesting.
slightly. I'm wondering if it was, they were unsure about that sink, which I think might be what the yellow was for. Have a look here on the replay. 2-1, a good lift. Does get a yellow from the far side referee. You can see a slight sink there into her chest. And that is what the jury are discussing, but it looks like they might be happy with it. No, the jury has overruled that to a no lift for the Georgian lifter. Paula Santos Mediavilla from Spain, 75 kilos. Three white lights, a good lift, and that quote-unquote sinking rule was somewhat redefined this year, so we're seeing a lot of it in practice for some of the first times here at Worlds, similar to how we had the change of elbow depth a few years back. Lifters having to adapt. Al Hanouf Al Tamimi from Kuwait, 75 kilos, and our final opening attempt in this first round of 47s. Another lifter who had a little trouble with the opening squats but came back very strong in the second and third. And it is a good lift, 3 white lights, 75 kilos by the way, a huge opening attempt for a 47 kilo lifter. And with that we move through to the second round of bench press, all bar Beglashvili with a bench on the board. Karina Ichchak now taking a 5 kilo jump to 52.5.
2.5 kilos below her personal best, junior lifter, competing in the open in an extremely stacked 47 kilo class. Moved well.
And a good lift, 3 white lights. It's easy to say that I think a personal best, which would be 5 extra kilos, would be there, but especially at a lighter body weight, you know, the 2.5, 5 kilos can feel suddenly a lot heavier.
The bar is loaded.
It certainly looks good for the 57.5. Venezia Wedlock CE from Singapore, 57.5 kilos for a 5 kilo personal best.
Moves forward 2 for 2 in the bench press event so far.
The bar is loaded.
Joanne Clark from Ireland, 62.5 kilos for a match personal best. 5 kilo jump here from her opener. Still very smooth. Training must have gone very well for that to be a match personal best and move like that. 5 kilo jump now for her teammate Pa from Ireland, 70 kilos. Three white lights, a good lift.
The bar is loaded.
Now our only lifter in this flight so far, with a miss, Marie Beglashvili from Georgia. 72.5 is looked to be retaken. Got overruled by the jury with a yellow for that slight sink, and I think that'd be a trouble for a lot of lifters that we're going to see who have had to adjust as we go through the week.
Yeah, hopefully it's not her style. That looked cleaner to me.
No, unfortunately.
And here's the issue. Without a single white, they can't even approach the jury. Take a look at this.
So she gets 2 reds and a yellow. The yellow for still thrusting the bar with her body there. You can see using the body to pick up momentum. The red, I imagine, for elbow depth. That's what a red on bench would be for.
Looked fine to me, though.
It can't be contested, as you said. So going into the 3rd round, still without a bench on the board, is extremely troublesome for Marie. Paula Santos Mediavilla from Spain, 80 kilos. This will be a 2.5 kilo personal best. And a good lift. And at 21 years old and still relatively new to the sport, there is no ceiling of her strength right now. I'm pretty sure, based on her final squat, she's not too sure how strong she is either. Our final bench press attempt in the 2nd round before we head through to the 3rd and final round of bench in this flight of 47s before moving through to the A group. Al-Hanouf Al-Tamimi from Kuwait, 80 kilos. Already this will be a 2.5 kilo personal best. 5 kilo jump from her opener.
Took a little bit of adversity early on in the squat event. Appears to be going 2 for 2 so far on the bench, though.
And a good lift, 3 white lights, and all smiles as she walks off the platform. A much smoother start to bench press.
4 attempts to change openers for Group A. 4 attempts. The bar is loaded.
And into the 3rd and final round of the B group. Carrying in Ichchak from Poland, 57.5 kilos. 5 kilo jump for a 2.5 kilo personal best. Just as I said about Santos Mediavilla at 21, the same goes for Karolina Ichchak at 19. The rate of progression is so fast.
Oh, wow.
Just a little too much today, that extra 5 kilos. And that's the thing, you know, I said this on her second, is that 5 and 2.5 at 47 kilo body weight is a huge difference, even if it's the smallest increment you can make.
Yeah, especially in the 47 kilo class. Speaking of 2.5 increment.
Yes, 2.5 here for Venezia Wedlock. See 60 kilos in the bar for a new personal best of 2.5 kilos. Looking to soon unlock the new plate, the blue plate. Just couldn't budget off the chest there, unfortunately. But again, took the smallest increment possible without it being a record and having the ability to take the chip. So 57.5 is what she had today. The options were go up 2.5 kilos or not take the 3rd. And you've got to give yourself the chance.
The bar is loaded.
For a 2.5 kilo personal best and jump here for Joanne Clark from Ireland, 65 kilos.
Nice third attempt. Clark appears 3 for 3, and the judges agree.
70.5
Does get a yellow from this side, where we can see in the replay, but it seems like the glutes stick down to the bench. Can't see any other infractions from this angle. Now an extremely important lift, Marie Beglarishvili from Georgia. Opener overruled because of the heaving motion. A second, she got the yellow for that as well as 2 reds. Weight is comfortable, but she needs this to avoid being disqualified from the competition and to be able to post a total. She's got quite a bit to fix up. See if she can. Again, weight not an issue. Didn't seem to thrust, but unfortunately,
Oh my God.
she's out of the competition. He cannot contest that. And Ryan, what do you think about that? Let's have a look at both views.
I'm not seeing the
The
infraction.
bar is loaded. No more changes for the openers.
And it's such a shame to see a lifter come all that way. She can still come out for deadlifts, but as I said, not able to post a total. Pa from Ireland, 75 kilos.
That is unfortunately no lift.
No lift, unfortunately. Maybe 5 kilos, a little bit overzealous there. Like we said, that 2.5 and 5 can feel very different, even if the second is moving well. But hindsight is 2020, and we have that privilege here.
5 lifters so far in the third and final round of bench pressing, and only 1 has nailed their third bench.
And with 2 left to somewhat sway that ratio, let's hope they can. Paula Santos Mediavilla from Spain, who's been lifting extremely well so far, opting for a 2.5 kilo jump here with 82.5. Oh, and again, made the small jump, so it was a sensible decision, but just a little too heavy on the day.
82.5 of Kuwait, followed by Jones and Nicola. The bar is loaded.
And we can see here the success rate in the right-hand corner of the screen. Not so strong on those third attempts, as you said, Ryan, with only 1 lifter left to go. Al Hanouf Al Tamimi, 82.5 kilos for a new personal best. Currently only Joanne Clark from Ireland with all 3 attempts in. It is a great fight.
Wow, huge fight to lock that out.
Heart of a lion there from Al Tamimi.
3 white lights.
We're starting with Group A. First will be 70 kilos for Ainsley Jones of Australia, followed by Nicola and Rona.
And as you said, that's just 2 of the 7 lifters in that first flight getting their final attempt. Everybody pushing very hard today as we move through to the second group of 47s. Ainsley Jones from Australia kicking us off with 70 kilos. Very snappy opener. Does get a depth call from the center referee, so we'll have a look at those elbows there in the replay.
The bar is loaded.
Aniška Mikova from Czechia managed to walk away with the squat bronze. Opening here with 77.5 kilos. Just 5 kilos off her best ever bench. Ooh, unfortunately, again, reds from the center and side referee and a yellow from the far side referee, I imagine for what we discussed before, which is the kind of heaving motion, using your body to thrust the bar. Again, it's a new iteration of an old rule.
Unable to see the replay, but we've got a lot of failed misses here in the bench press for a 47 kilo class.
$85 kilos for Annalisa Motta from Italy. A match personal best. Three white lights, a good lift.
The bar is loaded.
Now Leanne Lee from the United States. 87.5 kilos, 5 kilos below her best. Had a very sticky start to the squat, but ended up, I imagine, where she wanted to be by taking those planned jumps.
Missed that third though.
Yeah. Much smoother start to the bench press. Does get a yellow from the far side referee, and we, as discussed, I imagine it's for the same thing. If we get that angle,
The bar is loaded.
okay, I didn't see any thrusting, so it might have been for a lift that we can't see from that angle.
Yeah.
And the jury has overruled it to
to
a
a
no
bad-
lift.
Wow, that's surprising. Off of that, I didn't see.
And that's 2 missed openers for Leanne Lee so far.
I mean, that completely shit. Well, I was going to say shakes things up for Leanne Lee in the squat event. She moved up regardless, nailed her second attempt, and was back on track. Unfortunately, missed her third. But yeah, this is not what the Americans thought. Okay, the American judge came out, coach, sorry, and I guess her butt lifted.
Vicky Kay here, 87.5, has had some trouble with elbow depth before. 2 to 1, a good lift, and you can see that she's waiting to celebrate before the jury have a look at it, and we will as well.
So I'm surprised. The replay I saw for Leanne Lee.
And the jury's overruled that to a no lift for Vicky.
There's a lot of failed lifts here in the bench press 47 kilo class. I didn't think you could see the butt lift on Leanne Lee in that replay.
Well, the jury will get both angles of the replay,
Okay,
as well
gotcha.
we will not. Amelie Pichot-Plant, playing a safer game, dropped her opening bench press attempt, 90 kilos, and can certainly look to capitalize. As long as the lights are white, which they are on. 3 red lights for elbow depth for Amelie, and this is a bloodbath so far, Ryan, with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 missed opening attempts within both flights, 4 of those within the A group.
Yeah, this I don't even know. This is more now.
This is actually crazy.
You could go 1 for 3 in the bench press, and it serves you well. I'm not sure.
Well, let's see how it turns out for our final two openers. Frank Mariduno, 92.5 kilos. 2.5 below her personal best. And I hope she's not looking at the board heading out for that opening bench.
It can encourage or discourage you. Now that should pass. My goodness, if that doesn't.
There was a slight hesitation off the chest there, but I'm hoping, yep, 3 white lights, a good lift, and hopefully the curse has been lifted with only one opening attempt left to go.
100 kilos, followed by Jones and Nicola. The bar is loaded.
And our final opening attempt, Tiffany Chapon from France, 100 kilos, 7.5 off her personal best, which is also the world record. Had a phenomenal squat session, ending with a world record of 170.5, pushing her record up 1.5 kilos.
If Tiff can just land this the way the bench is going for Leanne Lee and Emily Pichet-Plante, Tiff's just got to hold form here.
Yeah, and it looks tidy.
Should be tidy. 3 whites.
And that is a good lift, but you know, as you said, with the other two of the big three missing that opening attempt, not just does that push them further away from Tiff, as we said, Annalisa looking to potentially capitalize as she edges closer and closer to Leanne and Amelie. We'll have to see how this pans out with 4 of those lifters without an opening attempt in, moving through to our second round.
And Leanne Lee, although missing her opening squat, went up regardless, choosing not to do that tactic in the bench press. I think that's a good idea.
I think it is a good idea, especially as a 47 kilo lifter. Ainsley Jones now is 75 kilos. And that is a no lift for depth. We are seeing a lot of depth calls and thrust calls here on the bench press in the 47s, Ryan.
Yeah, I'm not.
I don't want to go online. I'm gonna say that. I'm
Yeah.
not looking forward to seeing the online comments. Aneshka Makova, 77.5 kilos, retaking it after missing it for 2 depth calls and a yellow from the far side referee for that secondary thrusting motion off the chest. Can that be corrected? She had no whites on that opening attempt.
Okay, looks okay to me.
And tentatively on the board with 2-1, a good lift. The jury have been pretty active so far, so I don't want to say that with 100% assurance. And they have overruled it.
Yeah.
This is a 5-man jury, I'd like to add, so it's going through quite a few people. Leanne Lee, let's see if she can't change what is going on right now. Retaking 87.5, as you said, which is absolutely the correct choice. Out of all 3 lifts on bench, that is absolutely the correct choice. It looks clean to me.
Yeah, well.
We've been stung before. 2-1, a good lift. Again, attentively, and I feel like I can't say anything with 100% security right now as the jury rewatch it. We wait with bated breath, and it looks like it will pass. She is on the board. And we have Vicky Kay now, 87.5 kilos, looking to take that. Missing it on her opener for elbow depth. Again, very, very tidy from Vicky. And on the board with 3 white lights.
And the prayer hands. You need, when you're celebrating 3 white lights like that, it tells you something.
Yeah, well, we've seen Vicky disqualified at a Worlds before on elbow depth.
On the
and-
second, when it's second attempt,
Yeah.
3 white lights get celebrated like that.
Yeah, under her PB, you know,
Yes.
everyone's sweating a little bit here, the athletes and us. Annalisa Motta, one of the very few athletes who got their opening attempts in, certainly looking to capitalize on that fact. 90 kilos in the bar for a 5 kilo personal best. And it's got to feel good that you were one of the few lifters to get those white lights.
But there's still 2 more attempts. And a lot of possible infractions. And that's as clean as you can ask for, I would think. 3 white lights, okay. To the point where I'm not even calling them.
Yeah, I'm a little hesitant right now for the first time. Two of the 4 lifters who didn't get that opening attempt in managed to turn that around. Amélie Picheplant looking to retake that 90 kilos, got called for depth from all 3 referees the first time round. Leanne now on the board. Can Amélie get herself there too in the second round, try and keep pace?
That looked good to me.
Yeah, like I said, I can't say anything without hesitating now. Unfortunately, in the same position as her opener, 3 reds for elbows. And that's a tough thing to change in the day. That is your whole technique.
I'm not, that looked good to me.
Frank Meriduno, 97.5 kilos, a 5 kilo jump.
Frank Marie, 92.5 passed and looks super clean, anticipating no infractions on any technicalities here.
Three white lights, a good lift.
3 white lights, a good lift. Somewhat somber mood in the room at the moment amongst the crowd.
The bar is loaded.
Tiffany Chapon hopefully can look to lift that mood. 105 on the bar for a second attempt, 2.5 below her personal best and world record.
Clean bench.
And it is a good lift, 3 white lights. Do you think 3 more kilos is the push that they'll do, the sensible decision there, Ryan?
At this point, it doesn't look like she's going to have to. I don't know. I mean, sure, she could. Takes a little pressure off in terms of the deadlift, but the way the bench press session's going, she's got 2 for 3, and everybody else is scrapping out just to get 1 in.
Yeah, and heading into that third round, still Amélie Picheplant and Anishka Mikova without a bench in on the board. See how this pans out as we move into Ainsley Jones from Australia, retaking 75 kilos.
And even Leanne Lee had to take 2 swings at it just to get 1 on.
That is a good lift, 3 white lights.
The bar is loaded. She needs this to stay in the competition. Come on!
Now, Anishka Mikova, one of the 2 lifters in this flight without a bench in on the board yet. got overruled by the jury on the second time round, looking to retake her opening weight of 77.5 kilos for a third and final time, her last chance to avoid disqualification.
That looks good.
Yeah, it looked very clean to me. And she secures a bench, she's on the board, and you can see how much that means to her. And now Amelie Pichot-Plante, 90 kilos again, retaking her opening weight. Got 3 reds on both her opener and her second. She needs this not just to stay in the competition, but to remain in the fight for those podium spots. Wow, and we wait with bated breath. 2-1, a good lift, and she is on the board. We wait tentatively for that yellow as the jury review it.
Get out of here and don't even look back.
And it will remain a good lift for Amelie. She is on the board and has secured her total thus far.
Yeah, now we got to wait until the smoke clears, the dust settles.
Annalisa Motta from Italy, 92.5 kilos. Slowly chipping away, a bit closer to that podium. One arm goes up and the other. A great final attempt from Motta. And 2-1, a good lift. That referee loves the yellow.
Jury overturned that.
Vicky Kay now, after a well-earned celebration on her second at 87.5, going to 92.5, a 5 kilo jump and 5 kilo personal best. Got penalised for her elbow depth on that first attempt. Managed to escape it on her second, and let's see if she can't pick up 5 extra kilos here on her third. And even better than the last, 3 white lights, a good lift and a new personal best.
And the bar is loaded.
Leanne Lee from the United States now, after getting that second attempt in, looking to jump 7.5 kilos. This is a big jump for the 47. And what do you make of that, Ryan? It'll also be a 2.5 kilo personal best, and not just a big jump, but the most she's ever benched.
She's looking to move ahead in the projected over Amelie Pichot-Plante. This would do that, pushing her to 420 and Emily 2.5 kilos back. But we've seen a lot in this bench press event.
And as we thought, 7.5 is just a little too much. That's a huge amount of her body weight.
She does have the bigger deadlift between her and Emily. So it's yet to be decided. It's still very close, but I think the Americans thought, due to what happened to Emily in the bench press event, leaving with only her opener weight, almost bombing out here, all right, this is where we're going to collect some kilos. It's still anybody's game.
She does have an open of 180, but again, and I know I keep saying it, from behind, not so far. The gap is closing. Annalisa Motta opening with 170 as well.
Yeah, I mean, look, Turbo Tiff has really pulled away. The battle for silver and bronze now looks like a 3-woman race. The big 3 is now Tiffany, and the big 3 are fighting beneath her, but let's see.
Let's see indeed. Frank Meriduno, 100 kilos. Already has bench silver secured. looking for that big milestone. Just not today, but as I said, still has that silver bench press medal secured with 97.5.
107.5 for the final bench of the 47s and kilos with Anthony Shuffle of arms. The bar is loaded.
Now our final bench press attempt, Tiffany Chapon saving that world record for another time, 107.5, 2.5 kilo jump, 6 white lights so far, which is a rarity in this flight. I can't say I've seen much of it. Like we said, she's brought a new version of herself in 2026.
Yeah, on this day, it doesn't look like she needs to take a swing at another chip or even padding that total at this point, really pulling away. If she can go 3 for 3 here, whoa, moot point after all.
And like we said, she still has such a comfortable lead. Something would have to go very, very wrong for her not to stay in that position. Still walks away with the bench press gold. In bench press silver, we have Frank Mary Juno from Puerto Rico with 97.5, and in bronze from Australia, Vicky Kay with 92.5 kilos. It is quite the session so far. We can see the result as they stand currently, but I think, as you said, we're going to see a big fight for silver and bronze with the new big three, with Tiff too far ahead to catch should all carry on as is. Do join us in 10 minutes time to see how that will work out. And welcome back to the 2026 World Open Powerlifting Championships here in Druskininkai, Lithuania. We are back after a bit of a tough watch on the bench session, but we move forward with positivity and confidence for these lifters going into the deadlift. Far fewer infractions that can go wrong here in the deadlifts. I don't want to speak too soon, but hopefully that's just given them enough of a warning to have a conservative opener, get that total in and move forward, secure that. If we have a look here at the projected totals, Tiff so far ahead now. Like you said, something crazy would have to happen for her not to walk away with that crown on her head. The battle begins now between Canada, USA and Italy for those silver and bronze positions overall.
It is possible Leanne Lee has upwards of a 200 kilo deadlift in her toolbox. Certainly it's in the conversation, but depends how she's feeling on the day. That could serve her well if she's going to vie for that silver medal. Of course, it depends on Emily and what left she has in the tank. And then there's the ever dangerous Annalisa from Italy.
We had Karina Ichchak there with her opening attempt of 120, 3 white lights. A little tough for an opener, but she's on the board, and that's what we're happy to see, securing her total. Patient off the ground and snappy at lockout, as we're used to seeing with a sumo deadlift. Joanne Clark from Ireland, 120 on the bar. That is a good lift, 3 white lights. Vanessa Wedlock CE from Singapore, I think with 125, hopefully a nice conservative opener, 20 kilos below her personal best of 145. Three white lights, a good lift. Pat Leon from Ireland, 125. Dropped her opening attempt, looking to secure her total for anything else.
Not a bad idea sometimes. You want to secure the total, you can take bigger jumps after that. The hay is in the barn, all the tough work is done.
Now, unfortunately, unable to post a total. Marie Beglashvili still coming out for her deadlift, as I'm happy to see. 130 on the bar. 5 kilos below her personal best. Paula Santos Mediavilla from Spain. Opening 132.5. Very, very comfortable.
The bar is loaded.
Our final opening attempt of this round, Al Hanouf Al Tamimi from Kuwait. with a personal best of 172.5. Upped her opener to just 5 kilos below that with 167.5 here. She has a big pull and a big grind in her. Three by lights, a good lift and a huge opening attempt for a 47 kilo lifter.
Yeah, if she's opening up 167.5 and makes a move like that, you gotta wonder where she's gonna end up.
And with all lifters with their squat and bench in managing to secure a total with their deadlift, we move into the second round. All opening attempts successful. Karolina Ichchak jumping 5 kilos here to 125, 5 of her personal best. Opener looked a little tough, yeah. I did worry about that. She's had a great day so far. She's still so young. Last year she was a sub-junior. Her first year in the juniors and already at the open world competition. So definitely a lesson learned, but what an incredible feat. Hopefully not too disheartened. Has a third attempt to come back and try it. Joanne Clark, 127.5 for her second attempt. A little slow, but she does not stop.
That was a rather difficult second attempt. You got to think, and she even laughing to herself how tough that was for a second. Sometimes it's all you can do. 2.5 kilos jump, I'm sure, for her third.
Seems like that would be the sensible choice. Taat Mayon from Ireland, 132.5 kilos, 7.5 kilo jump. And a much more comfortable looking second attempt there.
The bar is loaded.
135 kilos for Venezia Wedlock Se Yi from Singapore. 10 kilo jump. 10 kilos of her personal best and just 2.5 of her best total. Really strong looking second attempt and makes light work of a 10 kilo jump.
The bar is loaded.
Marie Beglarishvili from Georgia taking a 10 kilo jump here to 140. Very narrow stance and grip. I'm a little worried about that knee going under the bar there, yeah. So no lift, gets called for assisting the bar of the legs or hitching, whichever version of that rule you are used to. And a yellow from the center referee.
Yeah, definitely looked a little leg assisted to get that lockout completed.
Paula Santos Mediavilla from Spain, 10 kilo jump, a very popular jump from first to second in this flight, 142.5.
is loaded.
Alnuf Altamimi, 177.5 kilos. 10-kilo jump, and this will be a 5-kilo personal best on deadlift and a 10-kilo personal best on total on her second attempt.
Depending on where Altimimi leaves, there might be a deadlift medal in the... Wow, that was a rather difficult second attempt, though. If that had moved like a second attempt ought to, we might be talking about a deadlift medal. We still might be, but it'll be more difficult.
Yeah, she is a conventional puller though, so we'll have to see how much grind and heart she has in her. And from
That really looked like a third attempt, though, if I'm honest. I was expecting it a little snappier for a second. Either way, she still might be in contention for a medal for the deadlifts.
in any case, looking at her total currently, she could push for a 400-kilo total just at that. She jumps 7.5 to her third attempt and gets it.
7.5 kilos might be a big ask, but to your point, we've seen some crazy grinds. Crazier things have happened.
Karina Itzchak, 1:25, looking to retake this in her third attempt, but yeah, as we saw on the second, just not there today. But hopefully that's not what she remembers from the day. She remembers as a 19-year-old, she came out at the Open World Championships and put up quite the performance, even if the deadlift didn't end the way that she wanted.
The bar is loaded. 3 attempts remaining to change openers. 3 attempts.
$130 kilos for Joanne Clark from Ireland at 2.5 kilo jump. Second was a little bit tough. You predicted they might go that 2.5, and they have.
Yeah, that second attempt took a lot out of her.
The bar is loaded.
140 kilos now, 7.5 kilo jump for her. Just 2.5 kilos shy of her personal best.
Nice final pull.
And 3 white lights, a good lift.
That's the first successful third round deadlift.
The last attempt to change openers. Last attempt. The bar is loaded.
Marie Beglarishvili from Georgia missed this 140 on her second. She got blues from the side referees for assisting the bar. It looks better in that regard for this third attempt.
Yeah, judges agree.
2-1, a good lift. Still does get a blue from the left side, but jury seem happy with it.
And the bar is loaded. No more changes.
More than happy.
No more changes.
142.5 kilos for Venezia. 7.5 kilo jump. This round moving very quickly. But just a little bit too much.
I don't know how many attempts she's.
Yeah, it was.
Well, you don't get that many.
I thought
Try
I
to
made.
sneak one in there. Let me. Hang on a second.
Maybe they didn't notice.
Yeah,
I thought
yeah.
I'd made a mistake there.
Yeah,
I think that was a little bit more than pulling the slack out.
There was. Yeah. Exactly.
Good
sneaky,
try.
sneaky. Yeah, I'll try that sometimes myself.
Paula Santos Mediavilla, 152.5 for the Spanish lifter for a 2 kilo personal best, what I imagine to be a Spanish record, and a 9 kilo PB on her total. And 3 white lights, that is a good lift, a strong end to the day for Santos Mediavilla. And the final deadlift in this first flight of 47s. Opting for a 5 kilo jump here for a 397.5 total, and that is a big total here. Hanuf Altamimi, 182.5 for her final pull for 5 kilo deadlift PB, 5 kilo total PB that she already extended on her second.
Yeah, that 177.5 was extremely difficult. If she hits this, a deadlift podium finish is in sight.
And she is so close, but just at the knees, lost it there, but what a valiant effort. And to end in 177.5, still incredibly impressive. And that concludes the first flight of 47s. Altamimi leading the deadlift 177.5, followed by Santos Mediavilla and Mayon. We can see the totals as they stand now, subject to change as we move now into the A group. Altamimi leading the B group with 392.5. Ainsley Jones from Australia, 142.5 in the bar.
Total secured.
Ineshka Mikova, Czechia, 152.5 kilos. 5 off of her personal best deadlift and 7.5 off of her best total should she make this opening attempt. Very comfortable opener there for Mikova, and a good lift, and just a little sneak peek into the future for you here. Both Pichapland and Lee have upped their opening attempts to the point where now their prognosis is matched with each other. Exactly 420 kilos with their opening deadlift, which is leaving Motta back in the dust a little bit.
Leanne Lee, though, being the lighter lifter, continuing this pace, USA will nudge ahead and take that silver. And Leanne Lee, bigger deadlift, gets to go last.
Vicky Kay, 155. And on the board, 3 white lights.
I will say this, though, Leanne Lee opening with 187.5. They got to really believe in that deadlift.
And believe that the pattern doesn't continue. She didn't get her squat or bench opener.
And her deadlift, while showing signs of potential of 200 kilos, you're pacing. If you're opening with 187, you better believe it's there, or you're not gonna make 3 lifts out of 3, because you got very small jumps.
Frank Mary, Juno, 155 kilos for Puerto Rico. Oh, a bit of a wobble at the top. And it doesn't help when the crowd also makes the noise that we did.
Oh, that'd be a tough one to disguise. I mean, she left the platform knowing.
Yeah. There's a wobble at the top. red from the center referee for insufficient lockout and the blue from the side referees for that wobble.
The bar is loaded.
Tiffany Chapon with a personal best of 175, opening at 165. We really are seeing the strongest version of Tiff today.
And she might end up winning this, not even coming out for her third. And coming into this battle, the talk was she'd be extended, she'd be pushed.
Wow.
Yeah, there are times when missing 170 was a regular occurrence for Tiff. It was almost a mental barrier, and at this point, with 165 moving like it is, we're well past that.
It feels like at some point last year, a switch flicked in Tiff's brain, and she's just become a whole.
I'll tell you where that
animal.
point was, losing the title at the World
Yeah.
Championships.
Well, you know, other athletes have said it before that losing is the best thing that happened to them.
That's why I'm as great as I am today.
One of the
In
biggest
life.
and best losers that I know.
You better believe it.
Annalisa Motta, 170. The gap a little further now, but she's going to do what she can. Still, she's been very consistent today.
Well, I mean, if the day has taught her anything, you go 3 for 3 in an event. Nothing else is guaranteed with your opponents. Anything can happen. Still got a lot of kilos that got to be shifted before the day is through.
The bar is loaded.
Emily Picheplant from Canada, 175, and a very near miss of disqualification during the bench press, as upped her opener here, looking to stay in the fight.
That was easy. All right. Look at 188.5 is her previous personal best. 175 moved very well.
Yeah, and you've got to think potentially that was the plan all along, to up the opener, because that was very comfortable. Now, the big question mark that we were asking before is this big upping of the opener from Leanne Lee from the United States. Not had the greatest luck so far today. 187.5 for her opening attempt, just 10 kilos below her best of 197.5.
I'll say this. If they think they're well ahead of Annalisa.
Oh, no.
Wait, did that go down too fast? Yes, it did. Well,
And the
trend
curse of the openers,
continues.
yeah.
I was just about to say now it's a moot point. So if they think they're well ahead of Italy and Annalisa, but I mean, now the whole conversation shifts all over again. That is the third time in a row she's missed her opener. And at this point,
What do you do?
I mean, it depends if Team USA decides, all right, we have to start looking at Annalisa, retake your opener, and defend this bronze. We might end up off podium. Or if they say, you know what, it's silver or bust. Usually when you talk or bust, it's for gold. You don't talk like that for silver and bronze. I think they're going to retake and at least defend the podium finish. And keep your eye on Emily Picheplant if she misses as well, second or third. Sorry, go ahead.
And that was a good lift for Ainsley Jones. And just to let you know, that is not what they've done. It looks like they've gone in the middle road, which is what I thought they might do, in a slightly smaller jump to the second. We'll get there very shortly, but
So we
we'll
say
see how that works out.
smaller jump, 195 is still only 2.5 kilos below
It's
her
true.
personal best. I mean, this isn't historically that small.
It worked out for her on squat. We'll see how it works out for her in deadlifts as
Yeah.
we continue through this second round. Frank Mary Juno also without an opener in on the board. 157.5. It's gone up 2.5 kilos.
That looks much better. A little difficult, but better.
The bar is loaded.
Nishka Mikova, 162.5, a 10 kilo jump, which is more than justified based on how that 152.5 moved. To be a 5 kilo personal best on deadlift and 2.5 on total should she make this. extremely comfortable, and the personal best still round, 3 white lights.
The bar is loaded.
Vicky Kay now taking a 10 kilo jump to 165, just 5 kilos shy of her personal best on deadlift here, and 2.5 of her best total of 400 should she make this in her second attempt. Three white lights, a good lift. Tiffany Chapon, 175, looking to match her personal best here on her second attempt. And this is just 1 kilo below her world record total, 451.5 on her second.
This should really close the door. I mean, if we're honest, the door's already closed, but
this will bolt it shut.
Close the windows. And that was
Wow.
with ease as well. Can't believe at one point 170 was a sticking point, and we're so far beyond that at this point. She is.
And you've got to think as well, does she even bother coming out for that third attempt or putting much onto it?
No, I mean,
You don't want to push that.
it would take an absolute miracle for somebody to talk about a Hail Mary pass for someone to bypass her at this point.
Yeah, the 25 kilo jump on top of the second for Amelie. That would be to reach Tiff's total on her second attempt. Annalisa Motto, 177.5, slowly chipping away here. Already this is a 1 kilo personal best on her deadlift and 7 on her total should she make this. So, like we said, quietly chipping away, adding kilos to her total and being consistent might just pay off for her.
Yeah, I think if Leanne Lee hits, it's probably too much for her, but Leanne Lee has to hit. And as of now, Annalisa is in bronze medal position. Still in the conversation.
Amelie Picheplant, 182.5. 175 was a very comfortable opener.
Moving her to 427.5. A little heavier than Leanne Lee.
But currently in a better position than Leanne.
So that definitely moved tougher, as you would expect. She moved up 7.5 kilos. She's got some more room, but we're seeing the end getting a little closer, a little more near.
Yeah, and that would be why the US chose to make that in-between jump that they did, so they could stay matched with Team Canada
And
going
win on
into the
body
third
weight,
round.
yeah.
Leanne Lay now, first of all, needs to get a deadlift on the board to secure that total and be in that fight. 195 would match her total at a lighter body weight going into the third round with Amelie Picheplant.
That should do it. That should be clean.
Yeah, a lot better this time, and she's on the board and in the fight for silver.
So far, with 1 round left, it's Turbo Tip, Leanne Lee, and Emily Picheplant, but only body weights separate Emily and Leanne Lee. And then, of course, Annalisa below them with 415.
And if we look at the scoreboard heading into that final round, Tiff just too far away to catch Lee and Picheplant neck and neck. As we mentioned before, Lee lighter by over a kilo. And it looks like Lee has put in for a huge final pull of 202.5. She's going to have to pull a lot more than Amelie to try and match. She has the advantage of pulling second, so can drop should she need to, but we'll have to see how that unfolds as we now head into the third and final round of deadlifts. Frank Meriduno, 165 for a 7.5 kilo total personal best and 5 kilo deadlift personal best.
Three
white lights.
And the bar is loaded.
165 kilos for Ainsley Jones. 2.5 kilo personal best. On deadlift, should she make this slow, but she manages to lock it out. Inishka Mikova from Czechia now. Looking to jump 5 kilos to her third and final attempt. 167.5 on the bar. This will be a 5 kilo personal best on total and on deadlift. Has had a phenomenal day so far. Managed to walk away with the squat bronze.
Lets out a war cry at the top. 3 white lights.
Great end to a great day for the Czech lifter. And we have just 5 deadlifts remaining. And it is going to be interesting in that North American battle there. Canada versus the United States for silver. Vicky Kay, 177.5 kilos. To be a strong end to the day with a big total PB. But just a little bit too much on the day for Vicky. And as we thought might be the case, she's opted for a 2.5 kilo jump. If she even goes for it, this would extend her own world record total by 1.5 kilos.
She's gonna come out for it.
Yeah, it looks like she is. She's chalking up her hands, and I don't imagine she's doing that for handshakes.
It's a firm handshake if she is.
And here she comes, your world champion, Tiffany Chapon, France. The new and improved 177.5 for a new world open record on the total. 4:53. And it is an easy 4:53 for Tiffany Chapon. 3 white lights.
I mean, she sleptwalked through the deadlift event, easily hitting 177.5. A much improved Tiffany Chapon.
And now I look forward to the next time we get to see Tiffany really go all out and hit her top end on everything.
I mean, just, she's talking about a 10 times body weight in the 47 kilo class. I believe it at this point.
$180 kilos for Annalisa Motta, 2.5 kilo jump. Has had a great day and certainly kept Leanne and Amelie honest.
3 white lights and 417.5. A very strong showing in the 47 kilo class. And look at this. Looks like the Canadians had dropped that deadlift 5 kilos. I think that's a good idea, judging off their second attempt.
Yeah, they are, I think, 187.5 on the bar for Amelie to put it into the silver position for the time being, with Leanne Lee to follow.
Bronze at worst, silver at best. Not a bad position to be in.
She manages to lock it out. She pulls herself into the silver position, and now she can just wait.
And last year she came in 12th. Now she's on the podium. What color of medal? Yet to be decided. That's why she's celebrating. And Leanne Lee, temp change as you'd expect.
And it would still be a personal best for Leanne on the platform by 2.5 kilos should she make this. Has not been the most fortunate in her opening attempts this competition, so to come back and get this and pull into the silver position would be a very strong end to the day. And like you said, the worst that she can get today is bronze, but I'm sure she has her eye on a different color medal. She wants some hype from the crowd, and she's given it. 200 kilos in the bar for Leanne Lee from the United States for that silver medal to pull ahead of Amelie Picheplant.
195 was very convincing. This is only 5 kilos up from there. That's a little shocking, I gotta tell you.
But it isn't there. And she walks away with a bronze medal.
Surprised, but I tell you what, these young ladies for sure should run it back in terms of the Battle of North America. North Americans nominations already closed, but what a battle that would have been.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure we'll see all these ladies fight once again. But the end of that today, deadlift gold still goes to Lee with 195, and silver, Picheplant 187.5, and Mota in deadlift bronze with 180. Overall, ending up in the bronze position from the United States, Leanne Lee with 427.5. In silver, Amelie Picheplant from Canada with 432.5. And with an incredible day and a new squat and total record, your 2026 champion, Tiffany Chapon from France. What an incredible session we had in the 47s. A great first day to the championships. Ryan, is there any last thoughts?
I got to tell you, so we expected some battles here. Ended up, Turbo Tiff is head and shoulders away from the pack. Now her battle is with history, being the first 47 to do a 10 times body weight. However, underneath her, still very tight. I'm excited to see a rematch of North America. Who's Queen in the North between Emily and Leanne Lee? We'll put a pin in that for another day, but still great showing and an excellent day one of the IPF World Championships.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, in the 47 category squat event, the bronze medal with 152.5 goes to Aniška Mikova of Czechia. The silver medal with 155 goes to Amélie Pichard-Plant of Canada. And the squat gold with a new world record goes to Tiffany Chapon of France. All right, thank you, ladies. In the bench press event, with 92.5, the bronze medal goes to Vicky Kay of Australia. With 97.5, the silver medal goes to Frank Meriduno of Puerto Rico. And with 105 kilos in the bench press event, the gold medal goes to Tiffany Chapon of France. Thank you. Congratulations. In the deadlift event, with 180 kilos, the bronze medal goes to Annalisa Mota of Italy. The silver medal, with 187.5, goes to Amélie Pichard-Plant of Canada. And deadlift gold with 195 kilos goes to Leanne Lee, United States of America. Congratulations. Thank you. Now for your total rankings, the bronze medal with 427.5 kilos in total goes to Leanne Lee, USA. With 432.5 kilos in total, the silver medal and the title of the vice champion goes to Amélie Pichard-Plant, Canada. And with a new total world record of 453, your world champion in the 47s is Tiffany Chapon, France. Now everybody, please stand up if you can pour la Marseillaise. stand together on the middle step for the photo wall. Thank you. Everybody, another round of applause for our 47s. We'll see you back again tomorrow at 10 a.m. for more powerlifting. Good night and goodbye.